Alright guys, we're looking at Doom 2.3, the bio section today, and this is really just like a stopgap measure until the web warriors come into play. But let's talk Symbiotes real quick, and I'll run you through the nodes, show you what I do with them, starting with the T4s and Isolate. Let me just hide for a second here. So, starting with Scream, everything but the passive. And let me just say right off the bat, if you don't already have this crazy amount of T4s, I wouldn't start investing in them now. I'd hold off for the web warriors. But if you do have your Symbiotes, you want everything but the passive. The extra percent healing is not the make or break for this mode. And we're going to want it as a striker. For Symbiote Spider-Man, we want everything. And I think you're safe to invest everything in Symbiote Spider-Man regardless of if you're doing it for the raid or not. He's a great character and he'll be useful in Wars, Dark Dimensions, and, well, every mode that's going to be coming out. Remember, Grand Arena is around the corner. We're going to want him as a skirmisher. Then we got Venom. I just like the ultimate on him, though the special is good too. And that's a function of how bleeds work. The higher the ability level, the more the bleeds are going to tick for. So when he spreads those bleeds, they become his, and having a higher ability level makes those bleeds hit a lot harder. And I like him as a skirmisher. Then we got Carnage. I like the basic for the same reason we just gave on the Venom ultimate, and the passive is the best T4 this team needs. You want him as a skirmisher. And then for anti-venom, you want everything. Changes the functionality of the character, so you need it. And I like him as a striker. Gets more debuffs out there on his ISO attack. So let's go ahead and jump into node number 1. And I will say off the bat, guys, these nodes, there is a little bit of RNG on who the enemy targets, and that's just something you got to deal with. It's going to change how you approach the node. But in general, we'll talk about some things and some safe moments you're going to have to do to make sure you get through these nodes safely. Now, on 2.3, it can be pretty unforgiving, but on the other difficulties, it seems to be quite easy. So right off the bat, we're going to load up Doctor Strange. If I get the chance to put defense down and offense down on him with Symbiote Spider-Man and Scream, I'll do that, and then I'll steal it with Anti-Venom. So you see here, my my Venom and my Symbiote Spider-Man get ability blocked, but I don't get to put the offense down with Scream because Ghost put an early slow on her, so I wasn't able to get the offense down on him yet, and now we're stuck behind Strafe, so we're just going to go ahead and peel off his buffs, give ourselves a little heal, and then we're going to go from there. Now, Strafe does have that ultimate ability block, so you want to stop him from using his ability. If your team is weaker than mine, though, and doing that to Strafe is going to stop you from killing Doctor Strange before he does his wins it with Tomb, then you're going to want to use it on Strange. You just want to kill Strange, make sure he's not flipping all your buffs. So here you go, we now have the Doctor Strange loaded up. We did actually get a spread from Carnage on the ability block with him too, but it doesn't matter. We go ahead and we bust him down. Now, normally I'm actually going to use this rewind on the Ghost. I, however, go and I just start attacking this left side instead. We're going to push this as fast as possible. But you can turn me to rewind that middle pack. Of course, Ghost and Vision are very likely to dodge you, though, so that's probably why I chose not to do this attempt. So what I want to save the Venom ultimate for the second wave of this, and if I get the chance to not stun Ghost, if Ghost is just kind of falling down, then I'm going to save that for the Black Bolt in the second wave. However, stunning Ghost, it cannot be dodged, and then obviously she's not going to dodge while stunned, so that's a very good use of your time too. So here we go, we start loading Emma up with buffs so that we can spread that to all the enemies. And it's a little funny because we're going to spread it to enemies that we're not necessarily going to take out right away. Because on the second wave, our priority is the Electros and the Black Bolt. We want to CC the Black Bolt as much as possible, and we want to kill the Electros. At least we want to get an offense down on the Electros, because if they special you without offense down and you just used your Anti-Venom ultimate, it's going to hit you like a billion times. It's going to absolutely wreck you. If it doesn't kill you, Black Bolt's going to kill you, because Black Bolt's ping is ridiculous. So we're going to spread off Emma. That controls that middle group, so no problem there. And then we're going to kill the Electros and the Black Bolt. And of course, Merc Lieutenant is free speed meter. He is so weak that if you throw a little extra damage his way, he's likely to go yellow, and Carnage will get a bunch of speed that way. So here you go. There goes one Electro. Now we're going to steal a bunch of buffs. Now look how many buffs we have. That Electro's about to go with the offense up. I don't really like that, so I'm going to go ahead and control her with another ability block. And now we're going to kill the Black Bolt. Now, a very important thing though about this Black Bolt is similar to the Thanos on the boss node in the mutant section. His health stat is so jacked up, and he's a striker ISO. So he hits somebody who doesn't have Skirmisher, and it still takes half his life off, even though I had defense up. Imagine he's hitting Scream, who's a lot less tanky, and he has that vulnerable, so he's going to do the huge damage, and he's going to come in for the ISO attack. It's going to strip all the buffs off. It does a stupid amount of damage because of his giant health pool, and then he burps her to death, and now you have to use rate heals. You don't want to do that, so if you can, stun him. If you can't stun him, turn me to rewind him, get a quick slow on him, do what you need to do to stop him. But the Electros are the same thing. If they special you and he burps, it's done. You got to use a bunch of heals. So it's a balancing act between taking care of the Electros and stopping the Black Bolt. And there you go. So that's node number 1. And I think here I actually lose connection, so I had to close the app down and reopen it. I think you'll see it in the bottom left corner right here. Is it going to happen? Yeah, you see it's lagging out. And there you go. So, but it's still the same run. All this is on the same run. I didn't one-shot everything. I don't think you can one-shot the boss node. We'll talk about that when we get there. But I'll show you a good 2-tap strat. And I think that's best till Web Warriors come. I think Web Warriors will one-shot everything very quickly. So I'm excited about that. There's Pierre from my work. Ignore that. So there you go. We eat the big Zemo damage. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up Crossbones. And you have 2 options. There's a saved option. We can stun Crossbones. We can put the Disrupt on him. And then Anti-Venom can steal that. You can get dodge, counter, and immunity. And then you dodge all of Phyla-Vell. You're going to be immune to the Graviton stun. And you can go that route. Or you can load them up with offense down and defense down, and then you can steal that and maybe speed the node up a little bit. I like being safe because I don't typically have hard time timing out on this one. So if you're experiencing that, you probably want to be a little bit more ballsy. So what we're going to do is we're going to even kill this wave, and we want to end it with Venom Special and Symbiote Spider-Man Special if possible. Hell, Symbiote Spider-Man ult will actually go a long way too to stun that Bishop. And then we're going to load up the Moon Knight with debuffs and spread with Venom. So here you go. We're even killing it. And along the way, guys, we are going to use our auto a lot. And every time before you use auto, if you can get in there and use your Carnage special on somebody who you don't mind losing debuffs, say Kingpin or Cable, do that. Save yourself the headache. I can't tell you how many times I've loaded up Moon Knight, hit auto, and the next turn Carnage comes in and specials him. And I'm just like, ugh, don't do that. So if you can get in there, go ahead and use that Carnage special so you don't eat up all your debuffs. So now we have it on auto basic, and we're going to target the Phyla-Vell. We don't want 3 Phyla-Vells. There's just a lot of death proof, a lot of drain going around, and we'll talk about that in the next note as well. So here's the Kingpin summons. That works out really well in our benefit here. We get a bunch of speed from that. We're still in auto basic, and we're just peeling this Phyla-Vell apart. She will actually bleed out to those right now, so if we were smarter, we'd probably start targeting the Cable. There you go, we turned off auto basic because we know we're about to run into the next node. We steal a bunch of buffs along the way, but a little bit too soon, so gotta be careful with that. So here comes Moon Knight. Here we go, we got the Symbiote Spider-Man Ultimate, stuns the Bishop. We get a slow on the Moon Knight, which is great. We're still stuck behind the taunt, but we have 3 skirmishers. We're going to peel that taunt off in no time, which we just do. I'll turn me to rewind over here. That's a great slow on the Phyla-Vells and getting them down to 0. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to load up this Moon Knight. So I actually get an opportunity here to spread off Cable. Just the way Cable's debuffs lined up and the way the enemies dropped in, that's good. The way the enemies drop in this node can vary a lot depending on who you kill. So if you follow the exact killer I just did, I think this is the preferable way you want it to drop in, but that's a little difficult to maintain. It's a lot to remember. Yeah, there you go. I say it again. You see, I just went over to Kingpin. I put the special on cooldown, and then we put it back on auto. And we're just going to beat up this Moon Knight as much as possible, get him super low. You see he's already near 20 bleeds. That's going to be a bunch more bleeds, and now I'm going to target the Bishop, because he just broke out of his stun anyway. He's going to get a bunch of turn meter as we hit him, but that's not the end of the world. Without a Jubilee, he's not fun, but he's not evil either. So we use the Anti-Venom ult there. That was a little bit of a mistake. I would have preferred to get the offense up, but that's okay too. So So we are going to base it or auto this as much as possible. We want to make sure that we go into the final node with Symbiote Spider-Man, Anti-Venom, and Scream Ult. In fact, in a perfect world, you're going to go in there with all of your abilities up, which I do think we manage here. So there goes the stun on White Tiger, and now we're on auto basic. The Fire Levels are going to take a long time to kill, so this is actually okay. And that Moon Knight's going to bleed out. White Tiger is about near the point where she's going to bleed out. She is at that point now, so we're going to go ahead and target the Fire Levels. And from here, it's a 45-second race to get them dead. So normally I actually finish this node a lot quicker, but I was doing this and trying to make sure I played it as clean as possible. You don't need to play this node super clean to get through it. You just need to make sure you're not messing yourself up with Carnage Special and stealing the wrong buffs with Anti-Venom, and you'll be fine. So we got 20 seconds left. Fire Level is super low. We just took off her buffs with Skirmisher. Oh, not yet, we didn't. But those two Shadowlands people will bleed out here. We're not even going to give them the chance, though. We're gonna tackle them out. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Pretty close. So as you see, you really got to make use of your autoplay abilities here. I have a pretty strong team. And here comes the boss node, guys. And this is a 2-tap. I tried, I think, 8 different attempts, and this raid in particular to get it done. And I just couldn't. The best I got was 4 enemies left, and I don't even think I recorded that one. So let's talk about what I do for the 2-tap. I'm going to load Red Guardian up. I'm going to strip him with the Skirmishers. And I'm not going to rewind Doom just yet. I want him to take his first turn before I go ahead and ability block him with Venom. That's going to make him go down to 0% turn meter. We go ahead, we put the ability block on him, we extend it with Symbiote Spider-Man, and then he's controlled for the entire fight. Kill that Doombot for a bunch of speed. So yeah, here we go. We're prepping for the Doom control. We're going to go ahead and rewind him here, set him back down to 0. Now, unfortunately, our Venom stayed with the ability block, which means it takes us a little bit longer to get that ability block on him. But that's okay. We're not going to use the Symbiote Spider-Man special, though. Because this happened, we need to hold off on that. We're still going to just keep knocking this right side down. And we're only focusing on this side down here because of what happened with the ability block on Venom. It's not at the end of the world. So we're going to work down the right side. Our kill priority is Rescue, and we'll pivot to Doom when possible. You see I'm actually going for Coulson here, which is kind of funny. But there you go. There's the ability block. Symbiote Spider-Man follows it up. And now we have that, which is great. If you were concerned about timing out and having Doom still up and then he's going to open up with ult, feel free to kill him here. I don't have that concern. I've done this node enough that I'm pretty comfortable with it, so I'm going to leave him up for as much as possible and just beat up on those Doom bots. And there you see right there, pretty lucky. The reason you want to take Rescue out, which I failed to do, is because she can cleanse the Doom. Now, he had so many debuffs, it didn't happen, which is great, but that is a concern, obviously. So we want to go super fast, spread over there. We'll start beating up on this Rescue, take her out before she does anything else. Got a stun. Vision can't dodge it. That probably could have been saved for the next wave with Kestrel and Sharon, but that's not the end of the world either. So we're going to continue to extend this ability block on Venom as soon as we can, but to do that we need to make sure that we're actually killing people for Symbiote Spider-Man to get speed. So there you go. And now we need to rebuild our cooldowns. I think we throw it on auto basic here, or we're just hitting our basic button. Well, we got to get Anti-Venom back up. Here's another Doombot. That's great. And we're down to 2 minutes left. So you see we've killed absolutely nobody. But we have prepped really well for the next wave. Now we're on auto basic. People start falling over. Now the next wave, I believe, is set to come in at this point. We get that Carnage special on cooldown, which is great because we're going to use auto basic or auto here in a second. And yes, you want to take care of the Kestrel, and you want to control the Sharon Carter so you're not getting stunned and everything else. And it's perfectly timed cooldown. Since we kind of stalled out that first wave, Scream's ultimate is back up, and then we just get to go to town. So we'll steal all those buffs from Doom, And what I really, really don't want to do is I don't want to walk into the next wave with Captain Sam standing there as a wall, and I don't want to walk in with Black Bolt ready just to annihilate us. So that's kind of my goal here. You see, I even used the special Symbiote Spider-Man to pull off some more deflects, because I'm trying to get this Captain Sam in a place where I can control him before he uses his special, and I get stuck behind him. And of course, this is where I need to start prepping for the next node. We try and land the stun on him with the defense down, and we do a good job. So that's why you really need to peel those deflects off, get a defense down on him. Otherwise, that stun is not very likely to land, even with a 6 red star Symbiote Spider-Man with Skirmisher. That Captain Sam is just insane. So we stick on the Kestrel. Doom will bleed out over there. If you're unsure about this point, you might as well go ahead and love tap him in. Kestrel should bleed out. There she goes. And now we're extending everything. And if I was a bit smarter at this point, I'm throwing it on auto basic. We'd still probably kill the Captain Sam, but again, with 30 seconds, you want to be sure. If you take out Captain Sam and Black Bolt before going into the next node, you're going to be set. So here I'm trying to see what my cooldowns are at, wasting precious time that I really shouldn't be. I definitely want to use that anti-venom special to get that ult closer. We're on auto basic now. Let's see if we pull it off in time for anti-venom to use his special. No, looks like we're just going to settle for it. So we're not going to have anti-venom ult up on spawn. That's okay. And we didn't get the Black Bolt down in time. But the most important thing was Kestrel, was Captain Sam. So now we're going to be fine going into the next attack. So there you go. That's the meat of the fight. This next attack is not very hard because we killed Captain Sam. But you want to make sure you take out the Doom with ability blocks and you keep him under control. And you don't want to end with Captain Sam up. So stall out that first wave and then get it clean. So Symbiote Spider-Man does have his ult up. We get slows on everybody. I'll go over here, turn me to rewind this side. And it also kills the Black Bolt because he was low enough. And now we're just playing cleanup. So I don't think the Sharon Carter has that ult T4'd. She didn't peel off enough debuffs. You can check what T4s they have on MSFGG, I believe. So that's a great resource. Always make use of that. I know I do, and I know the people in my alliance do as well. So we steal that offense up from Bishop. Now hitting Bishop is getting us retaliated every single time. He definitely has that T4'd. Too unlikely for him to do this many if he didn't. And there you go. So we're still beating him up. Rescue, I don't believe Rescue took a turn yet, so she's going to open up a barrier. That's why we're not focusing her down. I want to kill this Bishop, because once Bishop's dead, it's a wrap for this team. Okay, no, so the Bishop doesn't have a T4 because he didn't retaliate there. Go ahead and we Carnage special. The Rescue doesn't quite get her down, but I believe this will. There you go. So yeah, as you see, it's going to take us at least, I think, another minute. Something's happening upstairs. It's going to take at least another minute to get through this fight. So Symbiotes, they struggle on time. This is a safe 2-tap method. I haven't failed as long as I have these proper cooldowns going into it. So if you're in charge of taking this node, I think this is the best way to do it. Unfortunately, it is going to cost you 20 energy to get it done, but it's safe and secure. So Sharon's going to bleed out now. Coulson's not going to do anything tricky. Definitely could have it on autoplay this time to speed it up a little bit. And Scream will finish it off. We're using all the longest animation abilities for some reason, and there you go. So that's the Bio Boss on 2.3. In, I think, a month's time, the Web Warriors will be out. I will have them built up as much as possible. As you see here, I've already started on Miles and Spider-Man. They're pretty much maxed. I'm excited for the others, and I can't wait to bring you that content. So if you like this video, like, subscribe, and for sure come back and check out the Web Warriors. I think that one's going to be most interesting, and I'm going to do a lot of war fights with them. I know a lot of people are saying they're not great in war. I'm skeptical of that. I think a lot of the teams chosen for them were poor matches. Like, if you choose enemy teams that are really good against flipping debuffs and stuff like that, then of course Web Warrior is going to struggle. Like Black Order, Fantastic Four, it's just not a good matchup for them. I think there'll be room for them on offense, and if not, I think they'll be great on defense. So come check it out. Those videos probably mid-January, I believe. We'll probably have all the Web Warriors. But who knows? You never know with Scopely. We'll get there when we get there. Anyway, guys, take care, have fun, and I hope you're having a good start to your week. See you later. Peace.